Hey guys, welcome to BBB Sharing. We're in the studio of Ignite Sparked by BBB podcast, and I'm going to be taking the reins today. My name is Josh, and I'm here with Evie.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
So, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about employee burnout and well-being.
Okay. So when I think of burnout, some things that come to mind is doing the same task over and over again, monotony, and just how do you kind of get past that, and because once you get rid of that and get rid of that burnout, you see more productivity. So
That's true. So I will say that I am the type of person where I cannot handle monotony. I get bored very easily. If my day is the same routine every single day, I'll go crazy.
yeah.
Like really.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I appreciate this job so much, because every day there's something different.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's the protocols and the everyday things that I have to do, like social media and podcasting and touring and sitting in meetings, but there's always something interesting to talk about or to do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So it's not the same old punching in numbers or emailing the same person about the same problem going on. But I have felt burnout in previous jobs that I've had. Like, I'm not going to say what company, but when I worked for a food company, I felt burnout really quickly because I'm the type of person where when I do my job, I have control of the outcome. Either I did it well or it didn't turn out well because I didn't do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on me, right? But when I worked for this other company, I had no control. Every single day, I had no control over what was going to do. And it was the bad kind of not boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
You were relying on others a little too much.
well, I had to be, because if the wrong box came and it was full of bread, but they asked for eggs.
Yeah.
So that's not my fault, right? Because I'm just a sales rep. I can't go into the warehouse and make sure that the right box gets picked up.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, I can't go pick up the box from my customer to take it back to the warehouse and bring them eggs, because that's a health code violation.
I see.
So every day was like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. And it was always doing administrative work where I was fixing everybody else's mistakes. So I got burnt out really quickly.
Mm-hmm. So it's not just monotony. It could be other things, because when people do think of burnout, I mean, at least for me, it has to deal with just the first thing I think of is boring.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I think of. But lack of control can definitely be a big part of it.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on certain businesses that kind of don't have that luxury of changing the procedure to maybe help with productivity or help the lack of burnout?
So if you're a company that has that type of role for its employees, where every day is very much the same, it is important to incorporate a quick 5, 10, or 15-minute little let's get together and play a game, or, hey, did you see this video on the dance for London Bridge?
Okay.
You know, like something funny, something that's going to get your employee's mind off of work.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with work. The whole point is that they have that a little bit of escapism going on throughout their day, where it's not a complete distraction from the work that needs to get done, because they have to get back to focus and get work done. But it feels like, oh, okay, my mind kind of needed that little break. I needed that little bit of dopamine
Taking a little bit of break
to get me going again, so that I'm not feeling that burnout throughout my day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting that recharge back.
Mm-hmm.
Or have like a day where you have sodas for everybody or coffee or cupcake, something that's going to help them get picked up again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of companies are like, well, we can't afford that, and that's not in the budget. Well, if your employee gets burnt out and your turnover is high, I think you have a lot more issues with your budget than you think.
Yeah.
And it's more than having to get cupcakes or coffee for your employees.
Do you think everyone gets burnout, or there are some people that can just chug along?
I don't think everybody gets burnt out. I definitely don't think so. I do think that we're more aware of it now. It's something that we talk about more now. But also, this might be something that people don't like to hear. But I do think that generations now are much more soft. Like, we come home at 4:30 and we're so exhausted, right? But what's at home when we get there? I have a dog at home, right? That's it. And I don't cook for myself because I'm lazy. And I work out, and that's about the extent of it. So really, what are we burnt out from? And I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Are you burnt out because you just don't like what you're doing? Are you burnt out because you don't do time management well, and so you can't fit in the things that you want to do throughout the day? Even though, let's be honest, nowadays we have more than enough time to get those things done than we did before.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, when you're getting home at 6:30, 7 o'clock, when that was normal to be leaving the office, really, then you really can't get anything done.
Yeah. There's some people who just don't have time on their hands, but there's others who think that they don't have time on their hands.
Exactly.
I see what you mean.
I mean, y'all are going to call me crazy, and maybe I am, but I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I go to bed at 8 because I like to do my 2-hour workout, take my time cleaning up in the morning, picking out my outfit, playing with my pup. Like that's when I feel like I can get my happiness. I call it my happiness done in the morning. I'm a morning early bird.
Okay.
But in the evening after work, I do feel kind of like drained from socializing all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that that's my time to do a little bit of cleaning, maybe prep my meal for work the next day, and then just play with my pup and relax.
Yeah.
And get ready for bed.
And for some people, it's that afternoon that they can get things done. Maybe it's just because I'm a guy, but I'm okay with like an hour and a half getting ready. And
obviously
getting stuff done. And when I'm done with work, it's really just cook and gym. And then after that, it's really just like whatever I want to do after that.
Yeah.
So it's just spending time wisely, or just spending time the way that you think. Like, also look into yourself and see, is this the kind of time that I want to spend right now? Am I doing what I want to be doing?
Is it doing the most for you is what you need to ask yourself. Mm-hmm. Is the time you're spending on certain things throughout your day, is it doing you any favors?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to say that it's completely the employee's fault, and I'm not saying that it's completely the employer's fault, because there's both sides to a story, right? Mm-hmm. And we are the BBB, so we do always look at both sides of a story. I think there needs to be a middle ground. There has to be some time at work to escape the monotony. And there has to be, and when I say time, I don't mean like taking an hour and a half long break to go pick up your Starbucks coffee, sit down and eat a whole meal, and then pop back at it again. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I mean is when you're starting to feel down, like you're hitting that wall at 11 o'clock, right before you take your break. Maybe get up and walk around, listen to a 5-minute podcast real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Something that makes you feel really good about yourself. Get back at it again. Take your lunch break. Pack something that you really enjoy eating that's healthy. Because if you're eating something that's not healthy, chances are you're going to feel really bad afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's going to cause you to feel tired again.
Yeah. I ate lunch and I was like kind of a little dizzy.
No,
like, all right.
Food coma.
Food coma. It's here. But what would you say? Because I know there's a lot of things of like, how America just like works its people too hard sometimes. So could it be something that our country could be doing a little bit better, or?
There are definitely certain things. There's really, if I'm being honest, there's really not a lot of incentive,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because even if you do start making, let's say, 10,000 more next year because you worked your butt off, chances are with inflation, it's really not doing you any good anyways. And you still have the same 2 weeks off. So where's the incentive?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in some European companies, you let them know ahead of time what weeks you're going to be off
Mm-hmm.
and how many weeks you're going to be off. So a lot of people will take 3-week vacations in the wintertime and the summertime, right? So they look forward to that. They appreciate their jobs for that because they can be able to take those vacations and feel back and feel rejuvenated and ready to go again. But there's also things like having the whole year off for maternity leave, you know? And some places they let you split that up. So the mom can have 6 months off and then the dad can have 6 months off.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's awesome.
That sounds really nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there is a lack of incentive here for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think, I don't know, there's definitely a lot. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it when it comes to burnout. I mean, we could go into specific details, personal details as well. Like sometimes, there are certain companies that it's not that they can't do it, but they just won't do it.
Yeah, they won't. It's in their mind.
It's recognizing that.
It costs them too much money because, and again, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but it's costing them money to let them be off of work that much because they're pushing work that's technically not in that person's job description.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have one person doing a 2 or 3 person job, yeah, you are going to be in trouble if they have to go on vacation for 2 weeks because that's 3 people not doing that work.
Mm-hmm. And I think that also goes into, unless it's your specific business, of course, if it's your business, it's your life. I get it. But if you're going to be working for someone else, differentiate your specific work life with your personal life.
Yeah.
And being able to balance those two things like we were talking about. You don't want to, you can complain all day. And
absolutely.
if you signed up for it, what's there to complain about?
Well, everybody needs a job, right?
Yeah.
So kudos to people that are actually working, even if they hate their job. Because I know what that's like too.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. But, you got to pay the bills. And even though that stings, you got to do what you got to do. But it goes back to what I was saying about prioritizing your time. What do you want to do in the future, right? So if you have a goal and you want to open up, what's a good thing? You want to make a sneaker company, right? So you start designing sneakers. Instead of spending most of your day doing absolutely nothing, it's just a waste. Why don't you spend the extra hours that you do have sketching sneakers and doing research on how you can build a startup sneaker company?
Yeah. Nice. It'll definitely help people.
It's allocating your energy and your time towards the things that are going to help you get to where you want to be in the future. And if you hate your job that much, if there's a will, there's definitely a way.
I think we want to end it off there unless you have anything else that you wanted to say.
I'm good, Josh. I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here with us for the BBB Speaks, sparked by Ignite BBB. And we'll see you next time.